What is going on, YouTube? Chuck here again with an update on the Girsan Regard MC, and overall kind of update on where the project is at and the overall round count and durability of the firearm, just in case anybody is interested in that. I'm just going to go ahead and check for clear. Looks like we are good. Release the magazine and we are clear. First of all, let's just get straight into the durability of the firearm. I have shot 124 NATO grain loads through this. I've shot hollow points through this. Shot basically any of the ammunition that I would normally buy or purchase, and it's fed 100% reliably. I've had no failures to feed, no failures to extract. This gun has actually just completely blown away my expectations for a cheap Turkish firearm. Again, I don't really have much else to say on that. It is done extremely well. I had pretty low expectations for this gun, but again, it is 100% reliable for this model. For my version of this gun, I've had no issues with it. And to even preface that further, I don't like doing this. However, I figure that most people would be interested as well. So I bought this gun, took it home, cleaned it, re-oiled it, and I have not cleaned it since. So this particular example is pretty dirty. It's pretty filthy on the inside. I'm sure I haven't even taken it apart. But yeah, I've basically just thrown a little bit more oil in it every once in a while, and that's about it. I haven't wiped it down. I haven't got any of the grit out of it. It has just been constantly being abused during its little life cycle and my fun with it. With that said, let's kind of get into where it is in its current state, because I think this is a really cool and affordable option for some people. This was actually my introduction to the 92 series, and I think it's actually a pretty decent introduction or decent firearm for people who don't want to spend the entire, $500, $600, $700 for a Beretta or up for some of their newer higher end models. If you're interested in the platform, I think these actually do pretty well for what they are. Again, I got this one for about $375, and we'll just kind of get into where it's at right now. So, starting at the front of the gun here, somebody put holes in my barrel, and that company was actually a company called Magnaport. Now, Magnaport got their name and their start originally by porting Magnum revolvers, and you can kind of see this unique shape. That's just kind of what they're known for. But I actually kind of like it because it kind of follows the up sweep of the slide there. I think it kind of looks cool, a little different. But the best part about this, other than it does absolutely tame muzzle flip when you're shooting it, actually shoots really flat and returns back to where you're aiming pretty easily. But it was crazy, actually. They got back to me within about a week and a half. I paid for it. I put the order form in, shipped it out. They sent me a shipping label. And in a week and a half, I got my slide and barrel back, which is kind of nuts. Because, again, most gunsmithing or porting takes anywhere from like 3 to 4 weeks to sometimes longer, 6 to 8 months or 6 to 8 weeks, especially if you go with like Langdon or something like that. So huge shout out to Magnaport. Really happy with the work. Really happy with the results. I got really nothing else to say about it. I just think that I don't hear much people talk about them or their work, and I just think it's a good option for this kind of thing if this is where or the route you want to go or something you'd like to do. Is it a necessary modification? No, but I had fun with it. I think this is a fun range gun for me, really. So this has just been something cool and different to try. The next thing you might notice, and you might have already noticed it already, is painting the front sight. This did not actually go very well. I was trying to get a high-vis orange/red at the front, and the product I used I'm just not even going to mention because it just, in my opinion, failed. Don't know if you can see it there, but just didn't do that great of a job. It's not very easy to see. It doesn't really change much of anything. But yeah, I'm going to try to figure out some other workaround because I was just kind of disappointed in how it ended up. Still want to change out the front sight. Obviously, there's no dovetail, so I can't actually just swap it out. But I'm just not a huge fan of traditional 3 dots. Usually like a large dot up front and then blacked out rear. That's kind of usually my preferred iron sight setup. But that's really it. Still going to work on something to fix that. But moving down here, not really a mod, just an accessory. Got a Holosun PID. I had a TLR1, I had a Surefire X300, but the way the trigger guard is on the Girsan and how it's radiused makes it pretty difficult to actually get something close within finger's reach. So this actually does really good job of that. It actually kind of matches the profile a little bit better. And I honestly want to 3D print a little plate in here to actually bring this back just a teeny bit forward or more towards the trigger and trigger guard. And I think I can do that. I think there's about a millimeter or two of play I can get a little bit further back. Other than that, the next major mod moving forward here is the LTT trigger in a bag job, or trigger job in a bag. This by far changed this gun. When I got this gun, the double action trigger was terrible. It was stacking. It made horrible noise. It was like 12 pounds. It was basically more than what this trigger gauge would even tell me was possible. So just not good overall. And now it's just buttery smooth. I mean, it's just super nice. And again, as Langdon Tactical is known for, the single action, there's take up, there's the wall, the reset, just so short. I mean, just insanely short reset. And it definitely cleaned up the single action trigger, or the single action poundage as well. In fact, I had a 12-pound trigger or hammer spring in here, too light. I actually had to go up to a 13-pound hammer spring because I was actually getting, basically I was actually accidentally getting bump fires almost, where I would accidentally hit the trigger during recoil and it'd shoot again immediately, so to give a double tap kind of thing. Again, it was just me and my trying to get as fast as I could on the trigger, so I should have actually been, you know, letting the takeout go all the way out and then slamming the trigger again. That's kind of what you're supposed to do. Instead, I was just riding it like here, trying to get the reset as close as possible. So it's a little bit on me, but overall I just didn't like it, so I went back to a little bit of a heavier hammer spring, which increased the poundage here. But again, it's just much more predictable, and I can just stay on the wall and just ride it the entire time. And actually, we're going to measure it because I haven't even done that yet. But I'm going to guess it's pretty dang close to about 5 pounds. So let's just check it out real quick. Can we both learn something new together? Alrighty. There we go. Alright, that one said 5. We're going to try one more time here. I think I was actually on the grip a little bit. There we go. Okay, I was. Yeah, because this one's actually about 4. Little over 4. We'll try it one more time just to try to get some consistency here. See which one it was actually closer to. Yeah, 4. Right on the dot again. So, again, we're right at 4 pounds, which is, I think, a perfectly acceptable trigger. I think trigger weight, and again, that insane reset makes it actually really nice. I think before, I was somewhere around, like, 3 pounds. So again, I think the 13-pound hammer spring, or 12-pound, sorry, or no, yeah, 13-pound hammer spring with the LTT upgrades was exceptional. That was probably the most expensive mod at about $181.95 after shipping and everything. Literally half the cost of the gun was in that modification alone. You can get away with a lot cheaper, but at the time, I didn't know anything about 92s. I didn't know what the best option was. And so this was also kind of my first foray into learning about them. With that said, I have no regrets for it. It absolutely made this gun from a 5 to like a 7.5 to an 8. So overall, very worth it. Finally, the last mod, which I think I've already made videos about, is the Langdon, or not the Langdon Tactical, the lock grips. These grips are exceptional. I mean, great grip. They just actually hold your hands. They lock them in. They feel good, rough, aggressive texture. And man, compared to the plastic things that this thing came with, which I appreciate it. If that cuts costs, great, keep that up because I'm going to swap the grips anyways. But yes, this was by far my favorite mod, I think, to start out with. And I got these for about $72, $73 after shipping, and I think that's more than fair, more than worth it. Overall, that is kind of everything about the gun. Currently, because I'm at such a high round count, and there's only a few extra things that I might change on this firearm, because I'm kind of happy with where it is, and at this point, if I go too much further, we're kind of going to be at diminishing returns. So overall review, how do I feel about this gun? In this gun's current state, in this particular one, this one of God only knows how many they made, I give it like seriously a 7.5 out of 8 or an 8 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10, because with the current mods, current setup, and the reliability that I've put this thing through, I'm like genuinely impressed. For Turkish guns getting a lot of bad rap, this one has done nothing but impress me. And again, I would recommend it. If somebody is interested in 92 series but doesn't want to invest an entire, paycheck or half a paycheck on, Beretta model, I think you'll get a lot of the fun out of it. I think you'll get the novelty. I think you'll have the different manual alarms. Again, you can see if it's something you like. And I think, honestly, for the money, again, this 1,200 rounds, the slide and frame fitment is still good. It's not rattly. It's a solid gun. It's a metal gun, full metal. It's just a pretty quality piece. The finish is held up pretty dang well. I haven't taken it apart. I'll do another video on the durability of it. We'll see where the wear is, and I'm going to actually clean it all up, get the debris and gunk out of it, and see how it's been holding up. But again, you get a metal guide rod, which you don't with a Beretta. You get a lot of different, the rest of the features are pretty normal. But again, for $375, I think sub $400, I think these guns are pretty cool, pretty worth it. Is it a, carry gun? Probably not. Is it a home defense gun? Maybe. Honestly, this one for me, I would feel 100% comfortable shooting it. Again, with the light mount, with the reliability of this gun, I personally would not have a problem with that. This gun to me has passed the test. Like, once you go over like 600 rounds or 500 rounds for me personally, and there's no issues, not even at the very beginning where the break-in period should be. 100%. I think this gun is perfectly reliable. So that's exceptional. There are some things I would love to change, things I would love to improve on. If you are a tinkerer, or if you like messing with your guns or customizing them, or just like working on projects and learning more about them, also an excellent start. They're relatively affordable. If I went with the black one at this time, I could have got it for like $340, which to get a full metal gun for $340, double stack capacity, double action, single action, and be able to get it to here, pretty dang impressive. With all the mods here, not including the flashlight, I'm around like $752 in, which is a lot. We are approaching pretty high amounts of money. But again, this was over time, and the reality is, if I got a Beretta, which would probably be about in the $600 range, so an extra $300 on top of that, I would have done the same things. So I would have got the LTT trigger job. I would have got the lock grips. And, porting, would I have done it? I don't know. This was just for fun. So you could probably subtract another $120 off for the porting if you didn't want to even do that. I think you don't need it. I think it's just a cool feature. So all in all, there is the update on the Girsan Regard. Again, just a really fun, just underdog. I just really impressed. Don't love the name, but hey, it performs and it feels good in the hand. So I got to hand it to Girsan EAA. Good job, guys. I think this one is actually really impressive, and I don't think it's getting the love that it probably deserves. Anyways, thanks for checking in, or thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Take care. Be safe out there.